What's the haps? I'm John, aka Meroka, and welcome to Spiel. We are in Ruby Pawn Gate this week, which is a constructs thing as far as I can make out. It's mostly going to be the green levels, but honestly there wasn't a whole lot in the Clockworks that looked terribly inspiring this week. There's nothing that made me think, yes, I wish to do those levels. So we're going to go about, we're going to do these. To be fair, I've avoided these so steadfastly for such a while that I haven't really done a whole lot of these levels. And a lot of the stuff that was available is stuff I have played relatively recently. There was like Shock. I did Shock last week, so I'm not going to repeat myself. Even though I've made such a habit of repeating myself in the past. But whatever. Such is life. Such is life. So let's go and let's bash up some machines. Which is somewhat appropriate, so let's do some Spiral Knights news. Yeah! Which involves machines! See? Segway, sort of, kind of thing. Yeah, so new promo time. No major things to get excited about, but there is a new promo. So if you remember how there was Operation Thwack, there was the Gremlin-themed costume type stuff before. Now we've got Operation Zap, which is construct-themed costumes. So there's a bunch of stuff that makes you look kind of like BattleBots or gun puppies or whatnot, and sort of various mechanical gizmos and doodads and things to attach to your person. And they can be purchased at the usual price. If we bring up the supply depot, we'll be able to take a look at some of the stuff, presumably. They usually have a promo thing on here. Ta-da! Operation Zap, they make you look a little bit like that. So you can have a key on your back and a gun puppy, and surely the key belongs on the Mecha Knight, but yeah, mix and match, create a wind-up gun puppy if you want, I guess. There's like the exhaust ports, and I think you can get like a wrench to wear on your back. I guess that would go in the wing slots. There's a few things in there. They're reasonably good looking, but still ain't gonna drop any money on it, to be honest. I still see no reason to splash out in that regard, personally speaking. It is also, ooh, there's health around there, let me grab that. There is also October. October is upon us. October has commenced, which means new lockboxes are in the Clockworks. So we got Platinum, I believe, is the lockbox du jour, the October box. So far, the only thing documented on the wiki, there may be a forum thread about this. I didn't do my research especially well this week. I looked on the wiki, which says that the new lockboxes contain some, what do they call them? Okay, horns is all I've written down on my notes. I forget what they're exactly called. There are horns. They look a lot like the horns that are on the Dread Skelly helmets. You know, the kind of the devil-looking things. So if you want to make your character look evil and fiendish, go get them. I suspect they probably look better in Shadow or Volcanic variants compared to anything else, but I also imagine that those would be very, very rare and hard to come by, so good luck with that! That's if you're wanting to make your character look reasonably demonic, because some people dig that kind of look. Personally, I tend to swing the opposite way, but there you go. I suppose you could get... I imagine, just by virtue of the way the item system works, there must be a divine variant. You can presumably get divine horns. That just seems kind of weird, but by virtue of the way the system works, they should presumably exist. I don't see why they wouldn't. Just weird. Anyway, yeah, that's the news. Two promos. One promo, one change to the game. Is it a promo? Can you call lockboxes a promo? I don't know. Presumably we'll see them on the prize wheel at the end of the level, because we always do. They usually make an appearance. You very rarely get them, but they make an appearance. Unless, as research seems to suggest, you have opened one recently, then your chances of getting one are considerably higher. Seems to be the way that one rolls. So if you open lockboxes, you get lockboxes. Go figure. That's a little bit sneaky kind of psychological stuff from a free-to-play monetization standpoint. It's people who are more inclined to spend money on the game get given more incentive to spend more money on the game. It's kind of... that's the sort of thing you'd expect to see in Candy Crush. That's a little bit devious. That's nasty. So yeah, if you're spending money on Spiral Knights, Three Rings will encourage you to keep doing so. If you don't spend any money, then Three Rings will give you no further incentive. Just saying, that's a thing that's out there. That's mostly anecdotal. It's not really extensively tested or confirmed by any code or anything. That's just what people have kind of made out from having tried stuff. So got some other stuff. I mean, guess most people probably aren't terribly interested in it, but I did a Wild Star Waffle back end of last week, which was just to try and bring people up to date on news and things, what's going on the channel, just because there's kind of stuff's going on at the minute, quite aside from the fact that I had already planned to... for months we've had planned the next Button Mash event, which will take place in the Bradford Playhouse a week on Sunday. That will take up some of my time and resources and may interfere slightly. I'll try not to, but it may interfere slightly with the schedule. I've not let it interfere in the past, generally speaking, but you never know. If I get run off my feet with busyness, I could skip a day. Might as well chow down on a pill. Don't really need it, but might as well. Additionally, I'm going to be in Germany the back end of this week. I fly out. I'm going to have to go, like, early-ish tomorrow morning. Actually, it's not tomorrow. I'm recording this on Tuesday this week, just so I got extra time to work on stuff. But for when you see this, I'll have to leave early-ish tomorrow morning. I will then be flying out to land in Germany because I go via a stupid route, because obviously the stupid routes are the cheapest, obviously, when you're doing airfare. I'm going to go via a fairly stupid route that ends up taking 5 hours from Britain to Germany. Sure, why not? I will wind up in Germany sometime in the evening, Thursday evening. I have, if you recall the saga from around July time, Area Games got back to me very, very recently and said, would I like to go to a third interview for a job with them in person this time, which obviously involves my flying out to Berlin. So, yeah, that's on Friday, and then I will be flying back in very early Saturday morning. Because it's the only reasonable time I could actually get the flights to work out, to be honest. It was either that or spend even more time in Berlin. And I do want to be back on Saturday because I've already had plans for Saturday evening for a couple months now as well. So I made all the plans within like 2 weeks, and now everything is kicking off at once, which is just a little bit inconvenient. So that's the thing. So I'm going to be away Thursday through Saturday. And as regards the plans for Saturday evening, chances are I'm probably not going to get a video out for Sunday either. That's going to be optimistic, I think, at best, to get a video out for Sunday. Basically, all I'm saying is I think this is probably, unless you are one of my Patreon subscribers, the last video you're going to get for the week. Monkey Island will go ahead as usual on Thursday. I've already recorded that one. That one's already sorted and good and done. So that will go up on Thursday as usual if you're willing to support me on Patreon, and if you are, I totally thank you, and that's wonderful. But for the rest of the plebeians, the general video watching public, sorry, you're not plebeians, that was nasty. For everybody else, this is probably going to be the last video until next Monday, I guess. It will be the next time you see content from me. Which is kind of unfortunate to a certain extent, because I've got two review copies this week that I actually don't have time to actually review, which is a shame because I really want to review them and get them out, you know, as close to launch date as possible, because that's how reviews tend to. Let's kill some stuff so I can stop dodging all this crud. Yeah, generally with a review, you try to get it out as... Damn it! I thought I had a dash, I didn't. You try to get reviews out as close to the review date as possible for the maximum impact, and... well, I'm not going to be able to do that. 2 games that are out. One is, well, yesterday, and the other one is, I think, Thursday, and I'm not going to be able to do those till next week, which is a shame. I also feel like I could perhaps use a break of a few days from doing the video or whatnot. I don't know, a weird place for the channel at the minute. I kind of a little bit burned out on some stuff, I guess, is kind of what this is. Hey, there's some boxes I missed over there. Sweet. Crypt of the Necrodancer, this in part stems, I guess, from a conversation that kind of came up in the Skype chat between the Strangelands group last night, which was about analytics and metrics and being successful at YouTube and whatnot, because... well, honestly, there's one guy in the group, Blitzkriegsler, is way, way, way more successful than any of the rest of us. I mean, I think he's overtaken Brian at this stage, and up to now he was like the biggest on the channel, in the group, sorry, not on the channel. Yes, I saw a goldeny looking lockbox flash past there, so I guess it's a kind of a goldeny colour this time. Yeah, so he's clearly got a handle on what makes YouTube tick a lot better than anyone else, and I don't know, I kind of feel like, I mean, I've been saying for 2 years at this point, it would be really great if I could make this my career, and at the current rate, I'm going to be like 70 by the time that's viable, and I'm not sure if YouTube will still be around when I'm 70, but there you go. So, yeah, I could really stand to knock it up a notch and try and figure something out. Necrodancer was a good call on my part as a series, if we're just going to talk channel stuff for a moment. Necrodancer was a good call on my part, I think, as a series, but I think that one has run its course for the most part. I realise there's a few people still watching it fairly regularly. It gets somewhere around, oh god, Scarabs, really? It gets somewhere around 20 views every video, which probably means it's the same 20 or so people who are big fans of Necrodancer, and I appreciate that, but when I first started doing the videos, they were getting like plenty of them were getting 100 or a few hundred views on each of them, which was actually pretty cool. People were looking for and finding Necrodancer on my channel, which is what I wanted. Necrodancer launched late July and grew to a great degree of popularity throughout August. It's now October. There is new hotness in the world. Most people are not actually playing that anymore, unfortunately. I may return to it at launch and see what's new, what's changed, what they've added, because obviously there's a lot more development still to go on that game, but I think the initial, hey, everybody's interested in this thing, part of the early access launch is maybe not quite so prominent anymore, and it really feels kind of almost a bit ruthless just to sort of say, oh, I'm making this for a business decision more than anything else. But at the same time, you know, ain't nobody ever got famous by, I don't know where I was going with that. Ain't nobody got famous by doing stuff that nobody else was interested in, I guess. So, there's that. Also, if I've got 1,100-ish subscribers and only 20 of them actually want to watch the content, it suggests that that's not a majority, you know? I'm missing a switch, there'll be another one hidden somewhere, right? Yes, there we go. So maybe I should move on to something else. At the same time, I don't know what. Again, going with this whole analyze the market and strategize and whatnot and innovate, and apparently the way you do that is by going on to... I was wondering where I thought they were a bit overdue. I was like, why has nothing spawned? Yeah, apparently the way you corner the market and be the best and whatnot is through Google Trends, I guess, and figuring out what people are interested in, and to a certain extent... I hate to say this, but copying PewDiePie is allegedly a really good way to go. If you look at what PewDiePie's playing, and then if PewDiePie plays it, everybody else is going to play it, and it's going to be really popular. So, you're supposed to copy PewDiePie if you want to be successful. I don't think I want to do that, really. I hate PewDiePie, and I hate the type of things he likes, so... I don't know. I don't know if that's a really viable strategy for me, but at the same time, I do need something fresher than Necrodancer. Also checking that out, I've been doing that since May. I didn't realize how long I had been doing that. I've been doing one series for 5 months straight. With the exception of Spiral Knights, I have never done that before. Holy Moses! Yikes! I had no idea I'd been playing Necrodancer quite that long. It doesn't feel that long. It really, really doesn't. So I absolutely want to step away from that and try something else. At the same time, I never actually replaced... Freedom Planet, and I still haven't bought Hatterful Boyfriend. I really don't know if that's something I want to do. It's something I kind of do want to do, and I also think it's ridiculously stupid as a thing. I don't know. I really don't know. I would also really like to focus on reviews, but I don't know. I don't know if there's much market for reviews, because everybody's doing reviews. It seems like you need at least some kind of consistent series to be able to consistently gain subscribers, so I kind of need to keep doing what I'm doing, but pick better stuff, I guess. My taste in games is not a popular taste in games, I suppose. Because I play stuff that nobody else cares about. I'm left floundering around with a tiny, tiny channel while other people leave me in the dust. With minimal effort. And that's it's not a good feeling when other people who have been at this way, way less time than you now are like I've got tens of thousands of subscribers, and in 2 years I'm just like, oh, I've done really badly. And I know I shouldn't complain. There are people who are absolutely still not even as getting even less views and subscribers than me that are putting even more effort into their channels and making even more effort, but maybe they're going about it the wrong way as well, much like I am. That's presumably what they're doing. I always feel a little bit bad for Wanderbot, if I'm honest, because honestly, he put so much effort into his channel, and he's really, I don't know, I feel like he should be bigger than he is. Because his channel growth does seem to be way slow for the sheer amount of effort that he puts in. He deserves to be much bigger than he is. At the same time, actually looking at his, stats, his audience engages with his stuff a bit better than mine, I think, because he actually gets a good number of views on every video. I only get views when I do Spiral Nights. God damn it! I don't want to be typecast here, god damn it, folks. I don't want to be typecast. It's not fun being typecast. Anyway, yeah, that's kind of what's going on with the channel at the minute. I want to take a few days out to take a break, and 2 or 3, no, not really 3 days, but 3 days, 2 nights in Berlin, plus a weekend off seem like just the thing that might be rather useful to reinvigorate me and generate some ideas. Let me do some research, let me figure out what the heck I actually want to do with this bloody channel. So if you will forgive me, this will be the last video for the weekend. Even though we're not even at the weekend yet. But there you go. Unless, of course, you are a Patreon subscriber. Again, thank you to my Patreon subscriber. I was going to say subscribers, but no, subscriber, singular. If you're willing to pledge any amount, $1 a month will do the job. You'll get access to bonus content every week, which is currently Monkey Island. However, by also subscribing, you will also get a say in what kind of stuff is actually on the channel, so you'll be able to say, hey, I don't really like Monkey Island, and I'll be like, oh, okay, what sort of thing do you want to see? And I will take your advice, because, you're paying the bills, right? So if you go to Patreon, you can have a look at that, and you'll get to see Monkey Island. And also, with that one, I'm like, should I make that one public, later? Should I, put, a month or 2-month delay on it? Say, Patreon get it exclusive early and then everybody else gets it later? Which, that might just be me being lazy. It's like, look, part of me, I don't like making content that's almost nobody's going to see, and another part of it is laziness, where I'm like, hey, I can make content, and then I don't need to worry about it. If I get a day later and 2 months later down the line where I don't want to bother making a video, I've already made it. It's like, that's laziness there, but I suppose that then carries on down the line. I'll still have to make that content, because I'll have to make it for Patreon subscribers then anyway. So that's probably not as lazy as I think it is. Backfiring laziness. Anyway, that's me rambled on about the channel long enough. I mean, this is it's been overdue. I haven't talked about me. I haven't done my vloggy thing for a while, and I've needed to do some vloggy stuff for a while. So that's what Wildstar Waffle was about last week, at any rate. So I've just done a lot of questions lately, but in that regard, let us do some questions, because this is a thing that we tend to do on this channel, on this series at any rate. I will answer your questions that you write in the comments below, so if you have any, please send them down that way, and I'll try my best to answer as many of them as possible the following week. They all do go in a text document. If I don't answer it, it's still probably written down. There's some, I'll be honest, there's some that I've had written down for months that I've kind of either never got round to, or I'm just a little bit dubious about answering. And of course, Skyside always sends me ridiculous amounts of them in one go, so you know what, if he drip-fed them to me one or two a week like everybody else did, I'd probably answer more of them. The fact that he just sends me 50 in one batch means half of them never get answered. But anyway, let's go through some of the questions we had from last week. Sacred Boomkin, which is a fantastic name because I played Boomkin in World of Warcraft. Yay, Boomkins! I like Boomkin. Sorry. Yay, Boomkins. Sacred Boomkin asks, if you could have any item from any game, what would it be and why? When you say any item, is it literally no constraints? Can we, you know, go big or go home? Can I take something really ridiculous, something insane? I love ships in games. I love ships, especially if they fly. Flying ships are the best, so I would say I would love a flying ship. Which way's the right way on this one? This one loops round, yeah? Yeah. Skies of Arcadia had the Claudia, which is like a pirate ship that flew, and then there was the Delphinus, which was a massive friggin' military gunship thing that also flew, because all the ships flew in that game, and they were awesome. They were fantastic, beautiful ships. I would like one of those. Are those an item I can have? Also, if we're going to go down that route, Guns of Icarus has some rather nice ships. They're kind of cool. They're probably a bit more breezy. They're very much from the steampunk vein of things rather than traditional ships, but with wings, which is the route Skies of Arcadia took. They were just like, here's an ordinary ship, we've stuck some wings on it. I was like, okay, cool, I can dig that. Yeah, Guns of Icarus is more Zeppelin type things. Zeppelins are also cool though. I will not object to Zeppelins. A spaceship would be cool, although I'm kind of thinking about, if we're restricting it to games and thinking about the spaceships that are in games, most of them don't seem to end up too well. I mean, the first one that sprung to mind, what spaceships can I think of in games? Oh, the Skylark! We got the Skylark. Oh, yeah, the Skylark. Oh, shame about the Skylark, wasn't it? That didn't end too well. Whoops. And then just think about all spaceships that are in games. Most of them end up attacked, destroyed, crashed, ruined. There's not a whole lot of spaceships in games that end up, you know, still intact and functional and used for interstellar travel by the end of the game. Most of them end up being attacked by aliens, lost in space, destroyed, crash-landed. Most of them end up with misfortune happening to them. I'm like, well, do I want one of those spaceships? One previous careful owner? Maybe not. Not so sure about those. I mean, I actually can't think of too many off the top of my head. I guess Halo had buttloads of them, and they were all pretty cool, but a lot of them ended up crashed into planets and things, so not so sure about that either. The Spirits of Fire in Halo Wars, actually, I think that was still functional at the end of the game, so maybe that's in the minority. I don't think about kind of very much going big or going home, because it was a generation ship in Christine Love's digital, which one was it? Analog A Hate Story and Hate Plus. Digital was the love story, which was a totally different thing, but yeah, there was the spaceship, the Magungwa, in that, which was a huge generation colony ship thing. That didn't end up too well either. It didn't really end up destroyed, but things didn't work out too well for them. You know what? You know, if I just put a shield, I can just walk through here and smash everything up. That seems like the safest way to go about this. Oh, it ended. Crud. Whoops. Not that safe after all. Huh. Never mind. Worked out alright. Worked out reasonably okay. That's like one of the few useful tactical uses I've found for that. I know I used it the other week to reasonable effect, and I'm starting to remember I have that power, but... and so it's not a common thing for me, using powers. Yeah, spaceships be good. If we're talking about something on a slightly more smaller, more personal scale, I rather like the laser from Tiny and Big in Grandpa's Leftovers, which only springs to mind because I've recently played Team Indie, which I did a review for yesterday. Go check that out. That's kind of cool. So Tiny and Big in Grandpa's Leftovers. That was a really fun game. I'm still waiting for them to do a sequel on that, by the way. They said it was supposed to be a series. It was just a short game, and it was like, oh, there's going to be more. I was like, okay, I can't wait for this. This is physics puzzling awesome, because they had a laser that could cut down friggin' mountains and stuff. You could just go crazy with that thing. It was awesome! And they never made any more. I'm a little bit disappointed about that. I would like to see more of that. Also cool toys and things from games. There was a story about my uncle had the grappling hook. That was also really, really, really sweet as an item in a game. It was not a story about the uncle, it was a story about a grappling hook, and the grappling hook was amazing. That was the best grappling hook physics in any game I've ever seen. If someone could recreate that one, I would be a happy man. Also jetpacks. Jetpacks are also very cool. I can't necessarily think of any offhand. Again, the Halo one, I don't know any specific jetpacks is what I'm getting at there. The Halo jetpack was kind of weak sauce because it only worked for a few seconds, then kind of petered out for a bit. And I was like, can we have something that flies a little bit more consistently? I suppose the jetpacks in some of the Minecraft mod packs are pretty reasonable. They're okay jetpacks. They're the kind of jetpacks you want. When a game says, we have jetpacks, that's what you're thinking of. The ones like you get in Minecraft, or Feed the Beast anyway. Not necessarily vanilla Minecraft, because vanilla Minecraft has no jetpacks. But you know what I mean. If you played Feed the Beast, you know what I mean. The ones that actually fly. Right? They're very expensive, but they actually fly and they're awesome. So yeah, those are many of the cool toys. If we're going to go a little bit more abstract, perhaps, there's also, I would say, like the Golden Sun from the Golden Sun series, because that's just it's more of an item. Is it an item? It's a source of power. It kind of appears manifest as a fairly physical-looking object, I don't know. It grants unlimited power and immortality. So that seems like a pretty good item to have, if all things considered, you know. If I can have any item, something that grants immortality and unlimited power, yeah, That's pretty cool. I'd go with that. A few more questions. Diamond Blaze asks 3 questions, in fact. 1, what do you think about the fact that we use 10 to 15% of our brains? Ooh, deconstruction zone. That's something a bit different. I don't think much about that. I presumably that's something I should be dwelling on with the other 85% of my brain. Heyo. No, hasn't that not been debunked? I thought that was kind of urban legend kind of thing, a myth. I thought the idea was that yes, firstly, we use more than that, and secondly, a vast majority of it is not so much we don't use it, it's more we don't really know what it does, because the human brain is a ridiculously complicated thing, and we don't know a vast majority about it, so a lot of the maths were like, some people would say, oh, it does nothing. No, we just don't know what it actually does. That's the deal with that one. It's just, no one really knows. So I don't think that's necessarily true. It is but a myth. Question 2. Do you like peanuts? I don't dislike peanuts. I'm not allergic to peanuts or anything, so I'm not opposed to them in that sense. Peanuts are reasonably tasty. They're not very tasty. They're pretty good with a beer. Something salty to go with beer is always nice, which is why they sell crisps and pork crackling. I think it's just the salt people like with the beer rather than the actual things. Chocolate peanuts are pretty tasty, and well, I guess you can buy a bunch of different coatings and things, but at that point you're probably more appreciating the things that are not the peanuts. If you buy chocolate-coated peanuts, you're probably not really buying it for the peanuts, you probably just want an excuse to buy chocolate. It's certainly true for me. It's like, yay, chocolate. So it's like, you know, you could just buy a bar of chocolate. Shut up, brain. No. I will buy chocolate peanuts. It's got plants in it. The plants make it healthy. It's not chocolate anymore. It's health food. That's what it is. I will justify my eating chocolate that way. Question 3. What will you do? What will you? This sounds almost threatening. What will you do if Spiral Knights got randomly deleted from the internet and from your computer? What will I do? That sounds like that is going to happen. So what will you do when it happens? It seems implausible. I mean, I don't entirely put it past my hard drive expiring at some stage, so that could end up being deleted in that regard, I suppose. And on top of that, I suppose Spiral Knights needs to cease to exist at one point. MMOs don't live forever unless they're World of Warcraft, in which case, well, I presumably in theory that can't last forever, but I think Blizzard really wants a damn good go. I think that thing's got a really long tail on it. I mean, I was just thinking about this the other day. It's like, it's got a lot of subscribers. It's got a ridiculous number of subscribers even still. It's on the way out. It's got 6 million subscribers, but when you're still talking about 6 million people paying whatever it is, $8, $9 a month, or a little bit more than that, isn't it? It's £8-9 a month. So they're paying a bit. They're getting a good amount of money out of World of Warcraft, probably compared to what it costs to run. And a lot of those people that still play it will probably continue to still play it for some time. I imagine as things peter out, it will peter out slower and slower with stuff like that, and I've really gone on a tangent, but whatever. So yeah, I think stuff like World of Warcraft could be around for some time to come. However, with smaller MMOs, that's less of a thing. As soon as it becomes not particularly viable to run anymore, their doors tend to shut. It's like, look, we can't afford to keep doing this, thanks. So you do need, there's a certain critical mass behind MMOs, and with small ones, it's a lot harder to hit that target, definitely. And Spiral Knights probably falls into the category of smaller MMO. Sorry, you know it to be true. Let's smash this open with a vial, haha, sneakiness and strategy. And I don't know any other way to open this, given that I don't have a gun on me, so I suppose that is the way to do it. Do I want one of those? Yes, I do. I have been keeping a lot of greens and blues just in the hopes that they add more battle sprites in the near future, to be honest. If there's anything that's going to get me to part with some money in Spiral Knights, it might be adding more battle sprites, so please do that, 3 rings. I would buy some energy in order to buy a battle sprite, that's what I'd do. Make that happen. At any rate, yeah, what would I do if it was deleted? Play a lot more WildStar, assuming we're talking in the near future. I don't know how long I'm going to play WildStar for. I mean, from what I hear, I'm at level 46 now, and from what I hear, endgame is limited once you get to level 50, unless you're with like a really hardcore raiding group, and there aren't many of them because people are leaving the game. I'm worried WildStar might not be around too much longer. I mean, it's got a ridiculous amount of potential, but at the same time, it's also kind of a little bit on the way out. So that could happen. And I'm a little bit concerned for the future of it. But if we're talking near future, I would play a lot more WildStar. If we're talking distant future, I don't know. I'd probably have... The thing is, I wouldn't be too distraught by the loss of Spiral Knights, because, let's be honest, I've said this several times, I don't play that much Spiral Knights anymore. I play half an hour, most of the time I play half an hour a week to record Spiral Spiel, and don't get me wrong, I love doing Spiral Spiel, this is a cool format, I dig this, but just to play the game generally in between doing Spiral Spiels, it's just, I've got a lot of good gear, and getting anything else is just more grind, or Three Rings trying to gouge money out of me, and, without more content, there's not a lot else this game has to offer for me other than what I make for myself by doing Spiral Spiel. And as I say, look, I dig this, but beyond that, not so much. I had another one, but I guess I'll have to wait till next week at this stage. However, I have completed all of Diamond Blaze questions there, so that's the thing. So there you go. So do remember to leave your questions in the comments below if you've got anything you want me to talk about next week. Normal service should hopefully resume on Monday. There may be a video missing on Saturday the 18th of October, but we'll see how competent I am at getting videos produced next week. As of now, this is I'll see you on Monday for the most of you, unless you support me on Patreon, in which case I'll see you tomorrow and then see you on Monday. So yeah, thank you very much for watching. I've been Meroka, and I'll see you next time.